Good morning, Mega Podlings. Crazy Joe here. I don't know what it is, but I just really, I don't feel like myself today.
That is better. I'll tell you. I'm just not myself when I'm hungry.
Let's see here. Crazy Joe Mega Podtastic writes, I heard there's a deleted scene in Dune where Jason Momoa's Duncan Idaho trips and falls in the sand. When he stands up, everybody points and yells, "Hey, looks, it's Sandy Duncan." You talking about the Broadway and film actress Sandy Duncan? That's a deep cut. You're welcome. All right, Crazy Joe.
I get angry just thinking about it makes me mad. Little kids doing drugs, it turns my stomach. That stuff hurts. It stops you from living up to your potential. It holds you back. It hurts the user. It hurts his family. And it hurts his friends. I just want to shake some sense into you kids that are using drugs and thinking about using. So remember, don't, or else. Okay?
Everybody's striking the fan. We're going to Crazy Joe's concession stand. He's got popcorn, soda, and delicious wieners. Forget all the shows over here, the grass is greener. He'll talk about movies and TV too. Crazy Joe reviews them all for you. He says go to eat, but go into one. Join Crazy Joe and get all the fun at Crazy Joe's concession stand. Crazy Joe's concession stand. He knows movies like the back of his hand. At Crazy Joe's concession stand. Keep wearing those pajamas.
Good morning. Welcome to Crazy Joe's Concession Stand. I'm Crazy Joe, and I'm not alone. Look who's here. It's Little Movie Perp. And it's not just Little Movie Perp. It's Eric. Eric is bored today. Welcome. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, one and all.
Thank you.
And look at this. One more surprise guest. Gary from Metro Obelisk Radio has joined us as well.
I'm just going to get that out of the way.
Get what out of the way?
That I regret missing last week's stream.
Oh, that's all right. It happens. It happens. So welcome, everybody. Welcome. I got a couple topics for today. Not many, but I do have a couple. So anything you guys want to bring to the table, let me know, and we can
Sweet.
add some stuff. Let me take a look at the comments real quick here. Lil Everett is here, and he, of course, says Yodel-a-hee-hoo.
Yodel-a-hee-hoo.
And James Borland's here. Good to see you, James Borland. Recently found out I had a post tab, made a few posts, gave a shout out to you, M64 Bros, Oddity Archive, and Back to the Past. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. My Dog Skip is a decent film. I haven't seen My Dog Skip, but Ridiculousness is finally canceled.
Yes.
I don't know Ridiculousness. I don't know.
That was on MTV. That show was hosted by Rob Dyrdek.
Okay. I'm not familiar
That one, he basically was just reacting to internet.
Yeah. It's essentially
it was basically SS Sniper Wolf, but a Hollywood level production. It was just him and a small panel of people. Right. Tosh.0, but not Tosh.0, because at least Daniel Tosh did Web Redemption.
And they just laughed at clips. They just laughed at viral clips. That's it.
And as Perp and I both know, Tosh.0 had Brian Atteen on for Web Redemption. So
big fan of Brian.
Everyone's a big fan of Brian.
Yeah, this one is like they don't even give any information about where the video clips come from or anything. They just watch them and they're like, ah, and then they watch another one. It's the same thing. That's all it is. And it went on for like 16 seasons or something.
No, 46.
46? Oh my
46?
God.
And I've never heard of it. What the heck?
It was the only show on MTV at one point, Joe. There were entire days.
Yeah, they would just
show Ridiculousness
all day
and then
long.
They would show 2 hours of the challenge and then go right back to Ridiculousness.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair,
that's why I stopped watching MTV.
To be fair, I can't remember when I last watched MTV. I think there was.
I mean, that's the problem with
you guys. You guys know my friend Dave Perillo. He was, for a short period of time, very into the Jersey Shore, and he made me watch it. Like he told me, he's like, you got to see the show. You got to see it. And I think that might be the last time I watched MTV.
I mean, that
And
show was at least somewhat entertaining. Like ridiculousness was just not. It wasn't entertaining at all. It was background noise, is what it was.
Yeah,
What's
don't get
funny
my
is-
wife started on the Jersey Shore. That show pisses her off because she's from the Jersey Shore, and she's like, those people are not from Jersey. Those are New Yorkers who come down to Jersey, and they give us a bad name.
What's funny is every time I think of Jersey Shore, I automatically think of South Park with the Snooky wants smush smush.
I never saw that.
Snooki's hosting a ghost hunting show, which should be great.
I mean, they've all just jumped from one reality show to another since they were on Jersey Shore.
Well,
That's a
I
good one.
remember,
And
might
there's
watch
even
it.
more shores now. I think there's a Floribama shore.
my brother was driving up from Jersey, like he was down the shore, and he was driving up back home, and he saw a billboard. This is several years ago. This is like when the show was popular. But he saw a billboard that said, "Come to the or comes to the Tropicana. We got the situation. Come see the situation live." And he's like, "What's he gonna do live?
Yeah.
He doesn't have an act.
Yeah.
Like they just put a camera on he's a reality star."
You
Like,
want to
what?
get even better is that now the most recent seasons are called Jersey Shore Family Vacation, and it's them with their children.
Jeez.
So, like, who wants to watch these? Like these are people from 20 years ago that were popular for going to clubs and getting fucked up. Who wants to watch them run around with their kids? Like,
have they grown up at all? Like, I mean, are they
they-
more responsible?
Well, they don't, because they have kids. They don't go out and get like blackout drunk anymore. But there's still like drama. Like, oh, you used to like me back in the day, and now you don't like me anymore. And we used to be friends. And you don't call or text, and it's all about having kids and stuff. It's really, really bad. It's really bad.
Do you know what was fascinating? Back in 2000, again, my friend Dave and I, we both were really obsessed with the Real World. We always watched the Real World together, and the Real World New Orleans was our favorite. So when Paramount Plus started, they had a Real World New Orleans reunion where they put like all those guys back in the house together after like 20 years. And it was interesting because every one of them matured except for one. And like the one was exactly the same. And it was like, oh my God, you went nowhere in 20 years. You're the same person. It was kind of sad, actually.
Yeah.
But anyway, and Lisa's here. Good to see you, Lisa. I don't understand this question. Trey Needham said, how many banned episodes have you seen? Banned episodes of what? Let me know, Trey, because I'm not sure. Not many shows have banned episodes.
Well, if he was referring to South Park, I've seen every single banned episode of South Park.
I have seen the banned episode of Sesame Street. That eventually leaked online about a year ago.
Wait, what was the banned episode of Sesame Street? I've never heard of it.
They did an episode of Sesame Street where the Wicked Witch of the West from Wizard of Oz crashed on Sesame Street, and David got her broom, and she wanted her broom back. And kids were very afraid of the episode.
Yeah.
So it aired one time, and then it was like put in the vault, and they were like, yeah, we're not going to show this one again. But then about a year ago, it leaked onto YouTube. Yes. So,
But speaking of paranormal shows, I was actually on a reality TV show that was canceled way back in the day, called Ghost Hunters Paranormal Academy. There was one season of it, and they did a casting for a second season. I'm on, like, if you can find the old episodes of Ghost Hunters with the ads running, you'll see my face on the ads when I was auditioning for it. My mom was in the hospital. Okay, this is a crazy story. She was in the hospital. She had just had a stroke, the first stroke she ever had. So we're taking care of her. I get a voicemail from the casting department for Pilgrim. I think it was Pilgrim Studios was the company that ran at the time, asking me a couple of questions, like what my shirt size was, what my jacket size, what jacket size I wanted, all this other stuff. And at this point, I'd never had any communication with anyone from the company. I just saw my face on the screen when they were doing the ad for it. And
what was the face? Was it a scared face?
no, we had to do these videos. I might have it somewhere. The commercial clip. If I can find it, I'll share it. But it's just me sitting in front of my camera. They wanted us to talk about our lives so they could find out who they wanted to cast or whatever. And they did a season 2 of Ghost Hunters Academy, which had a season 1 that was okay. It wasn't great. But I was friends with Grant Wilson, who was one of the guys on the actual Ghost Hunter show. And he gave me advice on how to get the producers to pay attention to my videos. So I did it. I got on there. They paired us up in teams of 2. And they paired me up with this religious fanatic who believed in ghosts and really wanted to, like, everything. A little speck of dust was fucking this, that, and the other. And so we did these little challenges. And then the show got canceled. So they never aired the competition. So I'm like, what would my life be like right now if they would have aired that show? What would I be doing? Would I be doing Jersey Shore shit? Like going around doing ghost hunting conventions? I don't know. Because I was supposed to be the skeptic of the 2 of us. That was why they cast me. I wasn't totally a skeptic, but I always thought it was like fun to go to these different places. I'm still friends with Grant. He's no longer on Ghost Hunters. I think Jason Hawes still runs the show. And I'll actually see if I can find the clip with where I'm showing myself on the TV for like make it into the top 5. It's pretty funny. Let me see. I'll see if I can find it.
Were you clean shaven back then?
I only had a mustache and a goatee back then.
Oh, okay. I'm Googling the name and like I got an image search but I'm not seeing you. Like
Let me show you. It was on an ad. The only place you'll find it was there was an ad running on TV, which I filmed from my phone.
There is a DVD, Ghost Hunters Academy,
the first season
disc set. Oh, you weren't in. You were only in. Season
No, it was season. That was season 1.
Okay.
I was in season 2. That was a short season, but they ended up not airing it because of the show getting canceled by Pilgrim Studios. Let's see here if I can find it. It's a very short clip, but I have it on one of my old videos.
Hey, Gerbo.
So I can find it here.
Come to see me melt down again, Gerbo?
Was that before I got there yesterday?
Wait, was there a meltdown? I didn't know about this. What happened?
Yeah, I'm melting down. I'm having a crash out in general.
Oh,
with just the whole film discussion stuff.
I was there. I was there for Sad Defeated Perp, but I don't think I saw the meltdown.
Had enough.
But
I've had enough. And then I was listening to YMS versus EFAP, and I'm just like, the EFAP people. Oh,
I don't know.
It was my first time listening to it because
I've heard the name, but I've never
smaller.
Seen
it. It's you have to be like somebody that wants to watch hours and hours and hours of like content from them, because that's what their content was. I don't know if that's still what it is, but that's what it was. I think it stands for every frame of pause, if I remember correctly.
It broke me.
So they pause.
They still go for like 8 hours of video or something, or like 10 hours of stream.
So I can find this clip. I want to share it with you guys. I don't want to derail the stream. When I find it, I'll let you know. But I'm looking for it now. So.
Joe's very patient.
Yeah,
he'll wait. He just waits it.
What am I going to do? I've had a day.
Oh, wait. Okay, hold on. I found it. Sorry. Let me share my screen. I don't want to play it because it actually has my real name in the clip, like my name. So I will show a shot of the video though.
Yeah, just show a frame if you can.
Yeah, here it is, right here. That's on when it was the Sci-Fi Network. That's me in that blurry shot there.
Nice.
Actually, I'll play a couple seconds of this so you can hear it.
And then they show the names being clicked.
Okay, there. I just want to prove that it was real. It's a real.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to upload this at some point, though, with the edit in it so that it doesn't dox me with my address and shit.
Nice.
But yeah, so that's the clip from this. It was back when it was on the Sci-Fi Network or Sci-Fi Channel when it was still spelled SCIFI, not SYFY.
I had a couple of friends that were on the Jerry Springer show. They
really?
They made up a story that they were like best friends, but they were like sleeping with the same girl, and it was like all made up. And they got on, and then they had to fake a fight with each other.
Mm.
Like they had to get up and start fighting. But I mean, they didn't tell the Jerry Springer people that they were making it up. Like,
wasn't it like proven that a lot of people made up their stories on Jerry Springer though? Like
I'm sure. But the funny thing was because they never broke character that they were making this all up. And in the green room, like the next couple to come out, that guy who didn't know they were making it up, felt that he bonded with my friend Kevin. because they were in the green room together. So when Kevin and Ron faked their fight, this guy got up like he was going to help Kevin in the fight. And Kevin was like, "Oh my god, like he's really going to take a swing at him because he doesn't know we're goofing." So,
yeah.
But anyway, so I got a couple topics.
Okay.
You know, before we get to the topic, let me tell you, I just get this out. I've been having pain, like a lot of pain in my leg, my left leg, knee just started hurting out of nowhere. So today I go to the doctor. Got osteoarthritis.
Oh.
So I'm officially like an old man now. Like I've got osteoarthritis in my knee. So
no more twerking. No more
that's
twerking.
going to make things like Dragon Con a joy. I can barely walk. No, I'm hoping that
Will they have medication for that for you?
Well,
become one of those like Disney wheelchair dudes.
Yeah, I'm on prednisone right now, so they tell me it's going to take the thing away, but or the swelling. So I don't know. We'll see. But man, what a week this is. So anyway.
Sorry to hear that, Joe.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Okay, it could be worse. There's worse things in the world, I guess. But
you have to stop stripping for dollars now.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Can't get down on the pole anymore.
I don't know. I hear there's a Wookiee lookalike contest coming. So
Wetties everywhere. So.
Wetties all around. And I don't know if this is a joke or not, but Hunter Iggy says that the Saudis put in a bid on the WB.
Yeah, I saw something for that. I don't know how legitimate it is, but it has been on this news cycle.
Better than Netflix. So, but anyway,
yeah, I would argue it's worse because they're ruining the WWE right now.
They own the WWE?
No. They got WrestleMania for like 2 years.
I don't know how true it is because the Saudi government, when it comes to entertainment, typically does like sports stuff and video games that have loot boxes. That's kind of the two things they're really interested in. I don't know why they would be interested in the entirety of Warner Brothers.
Well, the Saudis also have infinite money.
Yeah.
So they could just buy Warner Brothers outright if they really wanted to.
Yeah, but I'm trying to figure out the through line. Like they've had opportunities to buy other studios. Like there's been times when other companies have gone up for bid. They don't seem to be interested in legacy media. They just want sporting and video games. It's pretty much the things they go after. So I don't know.
Well, we got this.
I have that shirt, Joe.
The one I'm wearing, the crypto shirt?
Yeah, I have that one. Yeah.
Sean loves this shirt. This is Sean O'Rourke's favorite shirt. But anyway, he's probably in the chat. I'm kidding, Sean. I'm kidding. So, yeah, Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz are coming back for Mummy 4.
Yeah.
And the what do you call it? The Radio Silence guys who made Ready or Not and Scream 5 and 6. They're directing this. Matt Bettinelli Olpin and Tyler Gillette.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. What do you guys think of this? Do you want a Mummy 4? Let me give you my background on the Mummy so far. I love the Mummy 1. I didn't like the second one. And in fact, I don't think there should have been a mummy in the second one. I feel like they should have sent those characters on a completely different adventure. Like okay, we're going to send these guys on another adventure, but it's not going to be another mummy adventure. Like, I think that's the route they should have gone. That's not the route they went on. So I don't know. I didn't really like either sequel.
Well, I think the fact that it was called The Mummy probably means they didn't expect it to ever get a sequel. That's what it seems like to me. Like they went into it as a one-off movie. It's really hard with branding, not to go off topic or whatever, but you look at something like Thunderbolts. I think Thunderbolts would have performed a lot better if it was titled The Avengers, something subtitled. I think it would have probably done better. So The Mummy is the thing they thought that was like bringing people in. But back then, do you think if they would have advertised a movie with all the same actors in it in that same world and called it something else, do you think it would have done well?
Well, it's interesting because there was a time when you could do that. In fact,
Yes.
I think The Godfather Part 2 is the first sequel to ever go with the Part 2 convention. But if you look the Pink Panther with Peter Sellers, the sequel was called A Shot in the Dark. And Raiders of the Lost Ark. We got Indiana Jones and the Temple.
We got
of Doom.
Superman 2 as well. That was another one that did the 2.
Right. But but I mean, they used to using just a different title. There was a time when that was the norm. Now you always have to have the branding in there. But
I mean, back in the day, they would even say like from the makers of whatever it is, this movie.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it could be like from the makers of The Mummy, we have The Wolfman or something like that to make it different from.
What's interesting, this was technically like supposed to be part of that 90s trend of like Bram Stoker's Dracula, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. It was like, oh, we're going to do The Mummy. And then it turned into like this action thing.
Right.
They even tapped George A. Romero to originally direct it at first.
And that's the thing. I always thought it had the vibe of an Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah.
And it's like they didn't do Raiders of the Lost Ark 2 where Indy has to go back after the Ark. Like I thought, why not send this Rick O'Connell character on a new adventure?
Oh, this was an $80 million movie?
Yeah.
Wow. Isn't that pretty big for that time period? 1999?
99, yeah. Like this was this kicked off the summer, so it's like a summer movie. Yeah.
Well, to add on to the Indiana Jones example, if we're talking about The Mummy Returns, how they shouldn't have had a mummy in it, remember when they changed Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom and the audience rejected it, and they rejected it so hard that for Last Crusade they had to go back to the Nazis. So there's also always that risk that they could have done another movie with Rick O'Connell, but if the audience rejects it, then by the third movie they'd have to run back to the Mummy and set it in ancient Egypt. I mean, because let's also be honest, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor wasn't really the most beloved movie either.
Well, I mean, Rachel refused to do it, right? Because of the script. So, I mean,
that's another thing that is in this article that I do not like. It says that this movie is going to disregard the events of Tomb of the Dragon Emperor.
Why?
And pretend it's the third film.
What about The Mummy Returns? They're going to ignore that too.
No, they're going to pick up from The Mummy Returns.
It'd be hilarious if they only the bus chase in Mummy Returns.
It's also not the first movie to do that. Remember, Superman Returns ignored Superman 3 and 4. It was a direct continuation of Superman 2.
It's very clear. It's very clear that what's the guy's name? Summers. The director is Stephen Summers.
Stephen Summers, yeah.
He had a blueprint where it's very clear you could easily just cryogenically freeze Van Helsing, and there's like, hey, wake me up when evil returns. And then it's Brandon Fraser is the one that is like, oh, the mummy and all this shit, unfreezes him, and then the mummy meets up with Dracula and all that. Like it's already there. I wouldn't be surprised if they do that actually. If Hugh Jackman shows up, I wouldn't be surprised. Why not? They're into cameo fest nowadays anyway. Why not? Screw it. Put Van Helsing in it.
But the thing is, like Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, good, bad, love it, hate it. And to be honest, I never saw it. I just don't like that thing where you say this sequel didn't happen. It feels lazy to me. Like, just
why? I mean, you've said this about Star Wars too, right, Joe? You've always said Star Wars everything should be there, even if people don't like it.
What about
right?
Peacemaker? What about Peacemaker season 2 changing the Justice League?
Well, I think that was a joke. Like I don't think that was.
Oh, so it's okay if you joke about it?
Yeah. Yeah.
What kind of standard is that, Joe?
I'm all for a joke. Also, I believe that the Flash changed the timeline. That was the Flash.
That's true. Pocket universe and stuff.
Altered the timeline. So
I never saw season 2.
I think ignoring sequels is okay, as if the storyline is like running into a rut, because that could also be inevitable. Like if you remember Friday the 13th Part 8, Jason turns back into the boy just before he drowned. Technically, Friday the 13th was over, but Jason Goes to Hell completely ignores it just so they can set up Freddy versus Jason. Now we could argue that that's also a gimmick, but there are also notoriously bad sequels.
Wait, I lost you somewhere. What did Jason Goes to Hell ignore?
No, I argue that Jason Goes to Hell ignored Friday the 13th Part 8 because Friday the 13th Part 8 did have an ending. It brought Jason back to the 9-year-old boy just before he drowned.
Well, Jason, Jason Part 8, that was just weird. That was like a metaphor or like something weird going on there. Like it was like a.
To be fair, though, continuity was never a strong point of the
Not
Friday
for
the 13th
Friday. No, none of them. None, not a single
one. No one
cared about continuity in the 90s. No one.
every long-running series is going to run into a problem with continuity eventually, though. Even Star Trek ran into problems with continuity. I bet if you look episode to episode, you will find contradictions.
Oh, there is tons of contradictions in Star Trek over the years. So
the Kobayashi Maru.
Well, there's also the Tim Burton Batman franchise that like slowly devolved into something different over time. So
into a rave, essentially.
Well, I don't know. Is anyone interested in Mummy 4?
I am. I like Brendan Fraser, so I'll definitely check
I'm
it
actually
out.
in such the minority where I did not enjoy the Mummy movies like a lot of people did. Even the first one, I was like, it's fine.
Does the radio silence guys get you excited?
Yeah, that's true. Ready or Not is awesome. So yeah, that's true. I'll probably see it for them. You're right. That got me. Yeah.
I mean, at least Brendan Fraser isn't 80 years old.
It's probably going to be more horror than the other ones, right?
That's not what I read, Matt. There was an interview in February where she said that she read the script and she didn't want to be the mother of a 21-year-old. I don't know if that's something's happened since then, but that was the last quote I remember hearing from her.
Little Everett, is Scott Parisi okay? I hadn't heard. Send me like a message offline or something. Tell me what's going on with Scott. I didn't know Scott needed help. I'd like to know the details there.
I like Scream 6, Degrassi. I didn't like.
I love Scream 6.
Scream 5 was missing like an essential thing for me, which is a good Scream chase. There was no chases in that one. What are they
Let me
doing?
guess, Joe, you like Batman and Robin.
Oh,
I love Batman and Robin.
I love that. Batman and Robin's better than Batman Forever. Come at me, whoever.
I know it's one of when people ask me my least favorite movies of all time, Batman and Robin is probably number 2 on my list after Southland Tales.
Oh, and you love Madam Web. Wow. Wow.
Madam Web was fun. Batman and Robin.
I know. I had fun. I had fun with both. I like both too. But
Yeah,
for
Matt.
reasons.
Yeah, Matt. I the interview that I saw was from this year, so maybe it's a more recent thing.
Dude, Batman Forever has like the worst action scenes, bro.
Degrassi says whenever anyone says they're never returning to a film franchise,
That's
are
true.
lying.
That's true.
Oh, that means Ben Affleck's coming back, baby.
There's Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill's back as Superman.
I believe they all mean it when they say it. Like, I think when they say it, they mean it.
I love how it's never mentioned. No one talks about Ezra.
Well, that's because even if the DCEU had continued, Ezra was never coming.
I'm talking about like another Tron movie, but this time the leads are Ezra Miller and Jared Leto. Like they're leading together.
And Disney starts it off. Okay, we figured it out. It's like in the press release, we figured it out. All right, this was missing Ezra Miller.
Ares is Jared Leto, and we're gonna have Ezra Miller as the new Tron.
Yeah. At that point, people were gonna think, "Is this a producer scheme you guys are running? Like, what are you doing?"
Well, did you see when Tron 3 was bombing? Something came out on Twitter. Somebody put out this tweet on Twitter, and they wrote Jared Leto to star in Pacific Rim 3.
He is
source deadline.
Yeah,
and people were awesome. Like taking it seriously, but there was no article. The guy just wrote source deadline.
Yeah. It was a disgusting fish situation apparently.
That's funny. That's
funny. But I would say like maybe there's truth to it. Apparently people say that Jared Leto has some magic spell on like Hollywood and he can just get roles. Like
he's talented.
He's got friends in high places.
He's an Oscar winner. I don't see how people don't get it.
Isn't he friends with the head of Disney's film division right now? I think is how he got into Tron.
Producers are very ego driven. So there's a lineup of producers like I could fix him mentality. There's a bunch of producers like I could fix him. I know the code. Put him in my movie.
But you also got to keep in mind this Jared Leto backlash is very new.
It is.
Like a couple years ago, this didn't exist. I think it was the 1-2 punch of Morbius. People didn't like Morbius. Then all those harassment charges came out against him.
The Joker started it all. I'm saying,
because you know who loves him? You know who loves him? Most of the Snyder Bros are crazy about him. Because like whenever I was on panels with
because of the Snyder cut.
The Snyder cut, he was great.
Yeah, they hated him before the Snyder cut, and then they liked him after the Snyder cut.
Like I can't tell you how many like panels I was on with Snyder Bros where I was like, I'm excited about Tron 3, but I don't like Jared Leto.
Look, I'm in a minority.
I
know I'm in a minority on this, but I think they were cooking with the idea of the Joker being like a modern gangster type character. I think the script was wrong. Like, I like the idea of it. the dialogue and the vibe was off. It should have been something completely different. I don't know what they could have done, but the visually, I was okay with that. I'm like, okay, the tattoos on the face and stuff, I'm down with this. And then the dialogue was just, the script and the dialogue were bad.
Yeah, I didn't even understand his intro at all. Like when he's
Well,
like,
I think what
pawning
hap-
off Harley, and it's like it's weird. It's like I didn't even understand. The
I
editing
still
of it.
maintain that his Joker was more comics accurate than Heath Ledger's. Not to say it was better. The Ledger version won an Oscar, but if you're going by the comics, Leto's version felt more like the Joker you would have seen in the comics than what they did with Ledger.
Yeah. Yeah, Matt, Matt in the comments says in about 3 months for him to put it together. I understand that, and I think he had a good idea with the visuals. I just didn't like the dialogue and the direction of the character. But I would like, he's 50-50 for me. Like, the visuals are fine, just he would need a better dialogue.
Yeah.
That's all.
I like Bright more than Suicide Squad.
I think what also hurt Jared Leto was the controversies around Suicide Squad and sending his co-stars all of those gifts. I don't want to say them on stream in case if Joe's channel gets into trouble.
Poo.
But that did not help Jared Leto at the time.
And that reminds me, if we do get demonetized, you can help with a super chat, and you can hear the song of Super Chat Hippo. Super Chat Hippo is here to sing to you. So
If there is a super chat that gets thrown in, can I actually say the gifts that Jared Leto sent? Since you're not worried about demonetization anymore.
I don't think I mean, I think you can say it. I don't think it's
Hey, Fourth.
Hey, Fourth's here. Welcome, Fourth. Oh boy. So, well, anyway, bringing it back to the Mummy, though. Another interesting thing is that Mummy movie, that 99 Mummy movie, is so popular that when the Tom Cruise version came out, I heard people saying, why are they rebooting the Mummy? It's never going to be as good as the Brendan Fraser version. And I thought that was so funny because it was like those people were unaware that the Brendan Fraser version was also a remake.
You have the one from 1931 starring Boris Karloff, and then you also have the one from the 50s that was made by Hammer that starred Christopher Lee as the Mummy and Peter Cushing.
Technically, that was a different franchise, though, because that was
but that borrowed very heavily from the Universal Mummy series. It combined various elements from all the movies. It mostly took from like the Mummy's Hand and the Mummy's Tomb, but still, it borrowed very heavily from the Universal series. So personally, I've always considered the 50s movie as a reboot.
Interesting. Yeah, I never considered any of those Hammer films to be reboots because they were being handled by a different studio altogether. But
well, I love Brendan Fraser, and there's a certain movie he was in that we'll never see probably. So I will take.
I have faith. I have faith. We'll see it. We'll see.
I know look at the devastation in Perp's face, but but I'm happy to see him in like a Mummy 4. I'll take it.
Fourth says the Mummy is better than Indiana Jones. I think it's better than Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. I don't know about the other other 4 Indiana Jones movies.
See what you got started there, Fourth. Ugh. I love you, Joe.
There's only one Indiana Jones movie I don't like, so
Ballad Destiny.
And I'm sure if Jake were here, Temple of Doom's his favorite. So
oh wait, the Temple of Doom is your least favorite?
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, I hate the Temple of Doom.
Wow.
Yeah, I would go Last Crusade, Raiders, Dial of Destiny, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and then Temple of Doom.
Wow. I think Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is actually a fun movie. I know people don't like it. It's okay for me. I don't hate it.
I liked Kingdom of the Crystal Skull at the time, but to be fair, I was, I think, 11 going on 12 when that came out in theaters. I still like it to this day, but it was my first Indiana Jones movie that I saw in theaters.
Yeah, I really like it a lot. I mean, there's 3 I like more than it, but I like it a lot. I always say the best if you're looking for Indiana Jones movie, the best Indiana Jones movies are the ones that have John Rhys Davies as Sala in them.
Yeah.
So, all right, here's the next topic I've got.
Okay.
There was an article today that came out about Star Trek and the plans Skydance has going forward for the Star Trek franchise.
Mhm.
And according to this article, the Kelvin franchise or the Kelvin timeline is officially dead.
Yeah.
They are giving up on
Thank you for
a
your
fourth
service.
Kelvin timeline movie. I don't know. I think that was inevitable because of the cost of the actors involved. But I am disappointed. I think they had several movies left in them. The age of the actors, they could have gone on with these roles.
I mean, we could have had another 3 films with the age of the actors. I mean,
Exactly. We got 6 movies out of the original crew, and they were 20 years older when they started.
Yeah.
So we could have at least gotten 3 more movies out of these guys. So I'm disappointed, but with the age of these actors, I'm not at all surprised. Because the cost, I mean, because you need to keep Star Trek is niche. That's all there is to it. Star Trek is niche. And you need to keep the costs down. And when you're paying a Chris Pine or a Zoe Saldana or a what's his name? Shaun of the Dead.
Simon Pegg.
Yeah, you're not going to make a movie on the cheap.
This might be a hot take, but I think the next Star Trek movie, if they attempt to do one, needs to not connect to any of the older stuff. It just needs to be its own adventure with like another crew, another ship, something completely different. If they're going to do one,
I don't think we can talk about the Kelvin timeline without discussing the damage that Star Trek Into Darkness caused. Because remember the press at the time when J.J. Abrams and Benedict Cumberbatch were going around and saying that Benedict Cumberbatch wasn't playing Khan, and then that infamous scene in the movie, "My name is Khan."
Yeah.
So you go from the 2009 movie that effectively wiped the slate clean. They could go any direction they want, and then the sequel they go to do a reboot of Wrath of Khan.
But then they did Beyond, and Beyond was the best of the 3, I think.
Yeah, but nobody cared by that point with Star Trek Beyond, though.
I still prefer the first one.
Yeah, I like Star Trek 09, but Star Trek Beyond came after the damage of Into Darkness, and Star Trek Into Darkness made more money than Star Trek 09 did.
Yeah,
Star Trek Beyond made less money than 09, even adjusted for inflation.
Which tells us maybe the nostalgia stuff we hate is the stuff that general audiences want. I mean, that was the best performing of the 3.
Well, I don't know. I think that, as Perp and I always say, who cares about box office?
Yeah, I don't. Me personally, I never judge the quality of anything on a box office.
Exactly. But the thing is, the Star Trek movies, they can be successful. It didn't need to make Into Darkness money to be successful, but it needed to be brought in at a lower budget. And unfortunately, those movies were not. So,
I was a very passive. I only saw the Star Trek movies, and I enjoyed them. I liked the Voyage Home. I liked First Contact. I like those, like more like sci-fi action films. I saw it like that. But the J.J. Abrams one, that 2009 one, I really loved. I did loved too. That one, and
I feel like I'm in the minority on that one.
Yeah.
I've defended it so many times. I'm like, if people want to jump into like a trilogy of Star Trek, or even just an individual Star Trek movie, that would be the thing I would tell them to watch.
And even thinking now, it's going to be so hard. Like if they're going to reboot Star Trek, like what he added, like the visual, like the cleanness and all that. Like he had like this whole. I think he redefined just the visuals of Star Trek and made it look cool and sleek.
And that's what all the TV shows are based on what he did in that movie.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like to remake that, and it's like, well, what's the next take? What's it going to look like? Back to the old stuff? It's like, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Because if you think about it, you go from the original series to like the Next Generation, Voyager, Deep Space Nine era, whatever. You see a clear progression of what those visuals look like.
Yeah.
I do believe that the visual... The style of the 2009 movie, love it or hate the lens flare shit or whatever, he changed everything, and every Star Trek after his Star Trek has used his visuals to update the older stuff,
and it's looked great. And I can't imagine like redesigning that. Like I don't know. Even like the uniforms looked like they looked great. I don't know. Do you want to give Jarbo the link?
Yeah, say Matt has a question in the chat.
I'm working on it. I'm trying to pull up Twitter.
Yeah, I even liked Into Darkness. I'm very forgiving when it comes to like story stuff with like action blockbusters. So I was very.
My least favorite was the third one. Like that's the one I liked the least out of all 3.
I like the third one. I thought the effects were incredible.
Oh yeah,
especially
yeah.
at the
No,
end. I
like
love that
as
city.
a movie, I think it did everything right. It's just
Yeah.
for me, the story was the least interesting of the three movies.
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
could-
It's just me.
I've always said Star Trek Into Darkness was my least favorite Star Trek movie because, like I said, all it is just a retreading of Wrath of
Yeah,
Khan.
a lot of people said that. That's a common
I actually
opinion.
don't agree with that at all. Because that movie tells a unique story that is completely different from Space Seed or Wrath of Khan until the last 15 minutes. But if you look at that movie, nothing is retreaded from the previous films until Kirk dies. And then we get the chamber.
I really like Benedict too. Like he's one of my favorite actors. Like I feel like him being in it decreases the drama for me a little bit from the upsetness about the lying and everything. Like I get that, but I just really like him as an actor. I find him to be very engaging. That's just me personally.
Oh yeah, no, he's great. That's it. I do think he was miscast too, though. They should have cast. Yeah. I mean, look, I know Ricardo Montalban wasn't Indian, but they should have cast an Indian.
Yeah. That's one of those times where I'm like, you did it as like a red, I guess, to like throw us off the trail of what it was going to be, and then you're like, oh no, he is Khan. It's like, you could have gone the extra mile and done a better casting, I think, for that particular role.
I thought it would have been better if there was a twist at the end because he initially said his name was John Harriman.
Yeah.
Like, what if he actually was John Harriman and he was trying to protect the real Khan who was still like I thought it would have been cool at the end if they put them like all in cryostasis and then they just kind of panned over one of them and like they had Ricardo Montalban in there.
Yeah.
And it's like he said he was Khan, but he was protecting his leader who in this timeline had not. I don't know, they didn't do that, but I thought it would have been a nice little twist.
Fourth ask, should Star Trek be hip? I think Star Trek is big enough where it's like you could have several, where you could have like the core of Star Trek. But yeah, I think it could be hip. I mean,
J.J. Abrams kind of made it hip, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like it was kind of that was the
and
thing.
then they
with the
hated
Delta
him for
movies.
it.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that hip? Tarantino Star Trek would be hip, wouldn't it?
Oh, look, Matt's here. I didn't even see him pop in. Welcome, Matt.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, welcome, Matt. That's a thing.
Yeah, that is. Okay, can you guys hear me all right?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, I get
awesome. So Star Trek, huh? You guys talking about Star Trek?
Yeah.
Yeah, J.J. Abrams, I think, reinvented the franchise for the modern audience. But it's like Star Wars. Star Wars and Star Trek need to age with the audience that was there when they first came out. And I think if they were to go that direction, it would probably do better for the franchise rather than trying to over modernize it.
You mean like as a film? Like a film franchise?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's kind of like it's kind of like this, where it's for those of us who grew up in like the 80s and 90s, right? Like we had Star Trek the movies, but we didn't have Star Trek the show. And Star Trek the show, you know, was like they tried to do that with the first movie, and it was so bad that they had to go B movie with it with Wrath of Khan, which turned into like an ultimate classic. And I feel like people grew up with that, right? So you look at Search for Spock and Quest for Peace, and oh no, that's Superman. What's the fourth?
Search for Spock, Voyage Home, Final Frontier,
right? And but I mean, it's just like if they and
Star
they
Trek
were kind
Goes to Prom.
Star Trek Goes to Prom, exactly. That was a classic.
That was
film.
a good one.
Star Trek 12. So very tired.
Kind of. I mean, but I feel like these franchises need to stop attempting to be modern and start living in the world where they existed and then just play to that. That's why I think this Mummy 4 thing. No, we've had Perp and I have had this argument before, but it's like the Mummy 4 ignoring Mummy 3, which whatever. I think is.
I don't even know what that means.
That
means they're literally going to mention part 2 and 1 so much that it's going to be very.
No, they're going to. They're
going.
Like, yeah, they're going to ignore the.
Well,
that happened all the way in Asia. Why would they need to bring that up?
Well, that's the thing. When you say they're going to ignore it, does that mean they're just not going to mention it, or does that mean
it's possible they're going to?
Why would they mention it?
It's possible they're going to Superman Returns that thing.
Well, you see, and that's the thing. We mentioned Superman Returns. Superman Returns didn't really ignore Superman 3 or 4. There was no mention of them.
Hey, dude, Lethal Weapon 3 did not mention Lethal Weapon 1.
Yeah, like they didn't say anything in Superman Returns that contradicted the events of 3 and 4. So theoretically,
no, but they altered the timeline to not have to go to those movies to be sequels to those films. That's what I'm
Right,
talking about.
but
And they
they still-
absolutely did do that in 2006.
But they still could have happened. And in fact, we know that they did happen because when they did bring Brandon Routh's character back in the Arrowverse, he literally referenced the events of Superman 3 in the Arrowverse. So it's like, well, that did happen. But that was
yeah, but in
Did H2O
continuity,
happen to Jamie Lee?
So they retcon. They double retcon.
they
I
double.
guess,
It's a double.
That's what the
retcon.
Halloween franchise does. Honestly, they retcon
and the Halloween
everything.
franchise just needs to go away as well. Like, a lot of that stuff,
Oh,
Jason.
I hate you.
Why? What more can Michael Myers bring? You know, it's like,
There's
look, I love Michael.
There's so many creative ways to kill people. That's all he needs to do.
Yeah, but
I
it
want,
doesn't
I
need to
want
be.
Michael Myers in space. That's what I want.
Yeah.
I mean,
Not only
Hey, they
that,
did it with
hey,
Jason.
just
They could probably do it.
Just
How come
recently.
freaking Freddy and Jason can keep going till they fight each other, and then Michael Myers has to go away. Can he at least get the Hellraiser dude before he goes?
Okay, fine. Let's do an Avengers style film, but it's got everybody. It's got Leatherface, Chucky, the Cenobites.
That's what the poo guy.
Ash
he's
from
starting
Evil
that
Dead.
early.
The
Hey,
blood and honey,
don't
Blue
even
Blood
get
and
me
honey.
started on Freddy versus Jason versus Ash. I'm a prominent supporter of that concept, and
Do it as a
I've
fan film. Fuck it.
I've read the graphic novel or the comics, and it was fine.
Have you read Ash Saves Obama?
No, I did
have that
read
one.
I did read
have
a
that
few
one.
of those, like what was it, like Darkman versus Army of Darkness.
Yeah, there's
I read
in Army of
that.
Army of Darkness versus Reanimator. Yeah, there's a bunch of
Yeah,
those.
they did a whole bunch of those, and it's like, oh, those were fun, and but I remember when they were talking about Freddy versus Jason versus Ash, and I was like, this is what I want to see so bad.
It's too cool for it to happen.
I'm gonna make it
Sam
an
Raimi-
AI.
and then
Fuck it.
Sam
I'm gonna
Raimi
make
gets
it an
to
AI.
direct it. Oh please, you're just gonna have them staring at the fucking camera. Well,
That's all I care about. Brood at me. Just brood at
Well,
me.
we hear a narrator as Ash goes through the floor.
There we go. I don't know. No. I feel like the idea was such a far out there concept, and it would have been interesting. But I ultimately am kind of glad it never happened.
The ring girl should be.
But I do love Freddy versus
like-
Jason. I do love that movie.
I love Freddy vs. Jason. Robert Englund, actually, this is funny, recently came out and said, Ronnie, you should come back and direct some more of these. He just
Isn't he in
mentioned
his
it randomly.
70s now? Like Ronnie Hughes, like in his
Yeah, he's
70s.
pretty old, yeah.
I thought that.
I still want somebody to make Batman versus Jason. I told you my whole Batman versus Jason thing, right?
No.
They have
that
the
sounds
same
interesting,
origin.
though.
They have the same origin story. Batman saw his parents die and he wanted to, stop all crime. Jason watched his mother get beheaded and wanted to kill everyone. They had the same origin but went in opposite directions.
Okay, so one is dirt poor living in the woods off grubs, and the other one's a billionaire. So we're
Exactly.
really, it ties into a lot of like capitalism conversations and about like affluency.
Lives in a
and
shed.
there you go. That can be an argument. Batman is really the bad guy because he's affluent and doesn't stop crime. With his
Speaking
money.
of crossovers, have any of you ever seen Batman Dead End? Which
Yes.
was Batman versus
Yeah.
the Alien, and then it was Batman versus the Predator, and then the Xenomorph comes at the end. I got that mixed up.
And you know who
Yeah.
played the Joker in that short? And I think he's actually one of the best screen Jokers of all time. Boner from Growing Pains. Andrew Koenig. Bringing it back to Star Trek, Chekhov's son.
You know what's I actually have the DVD of Batman Dead End. I bought it at Comic-Con a long time ago. And there was a making of, they spent $30,000 on that short film.
Which short film?
The Batman
Batman
Dead End.
Dead End.
Oh, cool.
The guy, I'm still trying to, I get it as a proof of concept, but like, did that ever get the guy anything?
Not really. I
don't
mean, he
think so.
did do a follow-up short that was like World's Finest, where he had
That must have been
Batman-
just for the freaking costumes. Jesus Christ, there's barely any fighting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they had multiple xenomorph costumes.
The
You had the
lighting and all that.
Joker.
It's
Yeah.
that's impressive, actually. Thinking about it.
The bat suit was pretty good, and the actor did a pretty good job. I
was
really
super
enjoyed
good.
what that was.
I would love for like someone that does these hardcore cosplays to help design some of the costumes for movies and TV shows because
Yeah.
they're incredible. Some of them are incredible.
And they do it for budget too. Like they really are able to make it look good for like cheaper. Like they that's the only thing about cosplay I like. Otherwise, I'm not a fan.
Yeah, no, because like Joe and I both go to Dragon Con a lot, and there's people there that do these incredible looks for like, for almost nothing essentially.
You know what bugs me now though is like it's gotten lazy with that because they have just those skin tight onesies.
Oh yeah.
And then you see that, and then the people like, I'm cosplaying. Like, are you? Are you really, or are you just, it's
just Halloween on a different day of the year. So.
And that's fine. That's fine. It's I was at Comic-Con back in 2009, and they were giving out, Burger King was giving out Team Edward or Team Jacob crowns.
I remember that
for that, and I took it, I turned it around, and I wrote "No Twilight" on it, and I was wearing it around, and I started to get people, and I like people running up and hugging me and high fiving me.
No
then,
sparkly vampires.
Yeah, I was just laughing. I'm like, because no one liked it there.
When Twilight was first like really, really popular, Battlestar Galactica was still on TV.
Ooh,
and I had a T-shirt that had a big picture of Edward James Olmos on it, and it said Team Edward.
That's pretty good, Joe.
Joe has the most dad joke shirts I've ever heard of in my life.
You know what shirt I just had to retire? Like I had a shirt that I had to retire it. I used to have a shirt that said "World's Greatest Grandma."
Oh.
And it was funny because I'm not a grandma. Right. But then as I got older, I'm like, dude, I'm pushing 50. I could be a grandparent.
Somebody's going to mistake you now and say
I could be a grandma too.
They're going to mistake you, and they're going to treat you differently, Joe.
Exactly. So I was like, I don't know, this shirt's kind of lost its irony now.
You should do like a Billie Eilish fan shirt or something to really like. That's a good way to play with the system.
So that was, we were talking Star Trek. I don't even know how we got here. This is a tangent done.
It's all Jarbo's fault.
I do have everything is my fault.
I do have more Star Trek stuff to chat about with that though. The head of Paramount, although has said a bunch of really questionable shit over the last 24 hours, at least in the interviews, did say that he is focused on making more content, like a lot of content. And I think he's talking about the shows that they've already been working on. So I think Star Trek would be one of those that they want to put more content out on. So at the very least, it seems like they're good with like continuing with what we've got, which I think now for Star Trek, the standard is like 5 seasons.
Yeah.
So, and I'm good with that. A lot of shows get dog shit after 5 seasons.
That's the one thing
I want to add a rebuttal to the 5 seasons. What I can't stand is that those seasons are only like 10 episodes long.
Yes, true. Absolutely true. Yeah.
See, I don't know. I'm okay with that because I think we get better content.
I don't know. I like 23.
It puts more pressure on the season because in an older season of Star Trek, when they were doing 22 to 24 episodes, I know the original series had more episodes because television was different in the 60s. If there were only 3 or 4 bad episodes a season, it didn't really sting as bad, because there's 22 or 24 episodes in a season. But if there's 3 or 4 bad episodes of a modern Star Trek season, well, there's 10 episodes in the season, so like 40% of the season is bad. And God forbid if there's 3 or 4 bad seasons in the final season of Strange New Worlds, because the final season of Strange New Worlds, I think, is only going to be, 6 episodes long?
Yeah. I mean, I do wish they'd get a full 10 episodes for that, but...
Well, I will say, though, for me, I loved, and I know we'll never go back to this, but I used to review, even if people hated it, I used to review the Arrowverse shows every week for like a decade. And I remember we were consistently getting between 21 and 23 episodes until COVID. And then everything became like half of that. So it's one of those things that they've just changed and they've never gone back to.
Hey, guys, I'm actually gonna get going. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. It was fun. Thank you guys. Sorry.
All right.
See you.
He's like, you're talking Star Trek. I'm getting the fuck out of here.
I mean, my next topic was going to be horror related, so I would have thought. But now, Perp's been kind of down on YouTube lately, so
it's easy. YouTube sucks.
Yeah.
It does.
It's fucking terrible. It's terrible. I actually, it's so funny. There's a storytelling podcast that I found. The guy does everything with AI, right? Like it's easy to tell, but it's engaging to listen to. So I found him and I sent him a message on Patreon. I was just kind of curious about his process, and then he deleted the comment. And then I'm like, bro, I'm like legit asking you, I'm not a hater. I'm like legitimately curious. And then he blocked me from his Patreon.
He thought you were trolling him or something. Is that what
I think there's such a weirdness about it. I like to fight people over it, but it's like there's such a weirdness. I think he thought that it was something else. I'm like, all right, man, like whatever, do what you're gonna do. Like, okay, But I YouTube just as a whole, like it's so boring these days. Like Eric, I watch you, I watch your stuff, when you do like the call outs and everything else. And it's like, that's really about how I know what those guys are up to. Otherwise, I don't even pay attention.
I don't think anybody watches them anymore, except like their most devoted fans.
They still they are slowing down. There is no denying that.
It's not like I've said, Matt, like people argue with me about that. I'm like, it's not a crash and burn situation. It's like, they're just kind of falling slowly.
It's like
in
cancer.
A parachute.
It's the cancer. Yeah. It's because eventually there is almost nowhere to go. You know what I mean? Like, there is even today I was looking at something about The Last Jedi and it just pissed me off because I fucking hate that movie. But otherwise, it's been 8 years, but you can't milk this cow for 8 years, and they're gonna try. So if you figure Marvel has got the next one coming out is what the
Wonder
Doomsday?
Man. Oh, the movie,
The movie, yeah. I mean, they'll go after Wonder Man, but it's Yahya Abdul-Mateen is a great actor, so good luck making that.
And it's a full drop. They're dropping everything at the same time. It's like a quick fart in the wind series. So.
They'll go through it. EFAP will do 15 hours going over one scene and not understanding it.
Yeah, they're waiting for Doomsday. You're right.
Yeah, well, because you got Doomsday. I mean, look, you got Avatar that's coming out. And people have learned don't bet against Cameron because that is going to be that movie is going to do at least $2 billion.
I feel the same way. We're in the same boat. I have argued this so many times. Anyway, continue. But I've argued.
No, thank you. A couple of years ago, when before Way of Water came out, I kept telling everyone, I'm like, don't sleep on this movie. Yeah. This is everyone kept telling me it's not going to do much. It's going to maybe do 700 million. That's going to be it. I'm all like, bro, that's don't bet against Cameron. Yeah. Movie comes out and it's number 3 highest grossing film of all time. So don't, it's, and plus, actually, I've been noticing the fan base has been getting bigger of Avatar ever since they expanded it with the second film. But anyway, I mean, you got Avatar, you got, not Five Nights at Freddy's but there's nothing there they're going to be able to go after. There's really not much right now. And then the other side of that too is the shift of the last year with the politics. Yeah, I don't know if you've noticed this, but on the mainstream side of things, they're getting more cautious. And they're like, look at David Ellison. Ellison's out there basically just come on, Daddy Trump, please force this deal through with Warner Brothers. For whatever reason, I have no idea. Is it CNN? I don't know. I don't get it, but I just don't see them having much to really go after outside of just manufacturing one little quote some person said.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And that's why I don't even like to talk about movie news anymore. It's pointless. The Mummy shit's cool. Star Trek could be cool, but otherwise I'm just bored to tears.
I'm curious what this horror thing is because we're coming out of horror season. So what is this horror topic that you got?
Oh, well, it was more or less just sort of an appreciation topic. Because let me use that handy little B key you taught me about. Okay, I don't want to get too political here because we all know what happened. But there was a thing that happened in September that got people very, very divided, and it set the internet ablaze. And Stephen King chimed in on it. And it led to a lot of backlash against Stephen King. And a funny thing happened, though, because while everybody online on Twitter was turning against Stephen King, I had just seen The Long Walk. And I also saw Life of Chuck earlier this year. And they are legit 2 of the best movies I've seen all year. Now, I'm going to make a confession here. I've never read a Stephen King book. I've never read a Stephen King book.
I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just shocked, honestly.
But I need, you know what? I need to. Yeah. And actually, I can even tell you why I never read a Stephen King book, but it's stupid. There was a guy I knew in high school who annoyed me, and all he did was talk about Stephen King. And that just made me never want to read Stephen King because this guy was so irritating. But anyway, I never picked up a Stephen King book in my life. But I've seen a lot of his movies, seen a lot of his TV shows. And I remember we were coming out of Life of Chuck. Again, one of the best movies I saw this year. And I said to my wife, my God, Stephen King does not get the credit he deserves for as versatile as he is. He's known as this great horror writer, but this guy, this is this nice life-affirming movie. This is not, there is a slight supernatural element to it, but this is not that kind of movie. And he also gave us Shawshank Redemption, and he gave us Stand By Me, and he gave us, the Green
Running
Mile.
Man.
Yeah. I'm like, this guy really deserves more credit. And now this weekend, I'm going to see the new Running Man. Welcome to Derry is airing on HBO. People are loving it.
I enjoyed the second episode. It's pretty gross, but I enjoyed it.
I haven't seen them yet, but I need to.
It's really good.
I really think Stephen King needs to be reevaluated. Obviously, he has a fan base, but I don't think he gets nearly the credit he deserves. I think he's one of the best storytellers of, well, I'm just going to say our generation, but he's a lot older than me.
Yeah.
So,
He also wrote Under the Dome, the TV show.
Yeah.
Well, he wrote the book and then
yeah, but then the
adapted it.
TV show comes along, but no one associates Stephen King with Under the Dome.
Because The Simpsons did it first. It's
Yeah, that's true.
It's I was like Under the Dome, like like the Simpsons movie. But here's the thing with Stephen King, and I'm going to take a bit of a contrarian opinion on this one. He's a great idea guy, but his movies are not his movies; they're adaptations of his stories. So there have been many things that have been changed. Look at the ending of The Mist. The ending of The Mist was far greater than the ending in the book.
Yes,
he said that.
And he agreed, and he
himself,
absolutely.
yeah.
And I'm just using it as a prime example because everyone's like, "Oh, how'd the book end?" The guy was writing it down, chronicling everything from like a cafe or something. Like the end of the movie is like, "Hey, fuck you."
It's funny, Matt. I mentioned that movie. We were talking about this on 2 streams ago, I think on your stream, Joe. And I said that the ending of The Mist is one of my favorite endings of all time because it fucks you up. It literally leaves you fucked up at the end of that movie.
And the same, I just watched The Long Walk 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I loved it. It stuck with me for days. It felt like, I feel, and maybe you guys agree or disagree, but I feel you can do Stand By Me and then The Long Walk and watch them back to back and have a great thematic pairing.
I've never done that, but in my head, it makes sense totally.
Because, the Four Musketeers and The Long Walk and the way that they were, kind of, juxtapose that with the boys from Stand By Me. And you get a lot of that kind of young man camaraderie, that young boy, whatever.
Yeah.
And I just liked it. I think it's great. I mean, of course, Stand By Me is such an amazing film. I just got the 4K of it, so I'm very happy. And, but I mean, it was such a well put together story, and it was just so heartbreaking to watch this movie play out. But I think also it depends on where things were. Look at Shawshank Redemption. The movie flopped when it came out.
Yeah.
It was up against so much and it flopped, and then it found home video, and then now it's one of the, I think it's IMDb's top film.
Yeah.
So it's, his movies over time have grown on a lot of people. And I think the movies have done more than the books because he was so high on fucking coke and cough syrup for so long. I don't think he remembers what he wrote.
I will say his version of The Shining was awful compared to the one that we got from Kubrick. You know what I mean?
Was it The Simpsons or Family Guy that did the Stephen King joke where it was, I'll write a book about this lamp? Woo! I don't remember which one it was. Was it The Simpsons or Family Guy that did that?
I mean, Simpsons had a Treehouse of Horror episode where they had the thing of all work and no play makes Homer go something.
Yeah.
And then Marge goes, go crazy? Don't mind if I do. Great line. Great.
Great and to add to the Under the Dome, you are right, Jarbo. The Simpsons did it first. The novel didn't come out until 2009.
Yep.
The Simpsons movie came out in 2007.
I was working at a drive-in back then, and we had Simpsons, and then 2 years later, I watched the first season of Under the Dome. I mean, all right, it was Hank from fucking Breaking Bad, man. Of course, I'm gonna watch it. And I thought it was all right, but yeah, Stephen King is great, for the ideas, But look at It. It is an 1,100-page book.
Yeah.
And the first half of that book is great, as evidenced by the first half of the miniseries on TV and It Chapter 1. Then you get into It Chapter 2 in the second half, and the whole thing just falls apart. So it's he's good, but it's he has his limitations, I think.
Also, the film adaptations of his work have gotten better in recent years.
Because of Flanagan.
Because what do you call it? Obviously The Shining, and people love Carrie and Christine. But a lot of his, earlier movies, they're not that great. It was around the time of Shawshank Redemption, and then the Mike Flanagan stuff, and it seems like in the past maybe 20 years they've started to get better.
I'm going to make a hot take that will probably get all you guys to shit on me, and that's okay. I'm gonna defend Dreamcatcher.
I've never seen Dreamcatcher, so
I love that movie. I love that movie. Lawrence Kasdan, okay, and William Goldman writing the script. Yes, it's like 19 stories crammed into one movie with an excellent cast. And the only thing I think that pissed a lot of people off, well, there's a lot, but the main thing I remember hearing when the film came out over 20 years ago was the ending was different than the book. And I feel like the ending in the movie makes sense for the movie, and I don't want to spoil it without you, if you guys haven't seen it, but it's like, I recommend it. But the problem with Dreamcatcher is you can't find it anywhere.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like only the DVD came out as far as I know. I don't know if there's been a Blu-ray. There's definitely not a 4K. And I'm like, give me that damn movie. I want to get it. Cause it's got, I mean, you've got Timothy Oliphant, Jason Lee, Morgan Freeman, Tom Sizemore, was it Donnie Wahlberg was in it, I think. The guy who played Winters and Band of Brothers was in it. It was just like a well-cast movie. I recommend it. I don't know where you can find it. Let me see where you can find it at.
I mean, I just checked. It is available digitally. Like you can get it like on Fandango at home. Or...
Yeah. You can watch it on Tubi for free.
I was about to say it is on Tubi.
You can watch it on Tubi. It's worth it to watch on Tubi. But I want the 4K. I want the 4K of it, and then I'll be happy.
Well, that was pretty much all I had.
Did either of you guys in the last couple of days? Have you talked about Shout Factory shutting down and going over to Groove?
We did talk about it last week.
Oh yeah, we did. That was last week.
It's since gone to Groove. But I'll tell you, ever since because they were slashing prices, I did get the Blaxploitation Classics Volume 2 at a decent price because they were on clearance.
Nice.
What's in that collection?
Foxy Brown, Friday Foster, Cotton Comes to Harlem, Bucktown, Slaughter, and Slaughter's Big Ripoff. And I had Volume 1 already. That's got Across 110th Street, Black Caesar, Hell Up in Harlem, Truck Turner, which is fantastic, and Coffee.
Wait, real quick, I have a question for you guys about the Stephen King thing. What are your all thoughts on Maximum Overdrive?
I was actually going to ask you that.
I unfortunately haven't seen it.
It's a lot of fun. I mean, I wouldn't call it good, but it's a lot of fun.
Okay.
I know that the movie bombed at the time, but over time through home video found its audience.
That was a movie that like my stepdad had recorded off of cable, and I didn't know what it was, and I put the tape in, and I start off just with the kids getting mowed down by the steamroller, right? And I was like 9. And shit. And I'm like, this freaked me out. And I ended up watching the whole damn movie. And yes, it is not the best thing, but it literally opens with an ATM calling Stephen King an asshole. And it's like Stephen King directed it. He wrote it. He was high on cocaine. It's got Emilio Estevez. It's got freaking Yardley Smith. Lisa Simpson is in the movie. It's got a young Giancarlo Esposito's in the film. And you've got AC/DC doing the soundtrack. And not only that, but you have the iconic Goblin black toy truck whose slogan is, "Here comes another load of joy." It is such a fun movie. It's like pure 80s nonsense. It's great.
He wrote the Creepshow movies too. They were fun.
Right. Him and Romero. I have a Creepshow. Did you ever watch the TV show? I never got around to watching it.
I think I watched one episode, or maybe 1 or 2. I didn't care for what I saw. I heard it got better though.
Okay. Because when I was in LA, this guy I know, he runs the Haunt in Pasadena, and it was great because it's in the basement, and at the end of the Haunt, you have to go up like this really long flight of stairs, and you're by yourself because they separate you from your group. But whatever the name of the creature was in the crate, I forget that, the creature from that one. Someone dressed as that. And as you're walking up this really long staircase, all of a sudden that dude just pokes his head out and just starts staring you down. And I was like, damn it. Like, it was good. It was, I love Creepshow. Like that's some fun stuff.
When when you
Yeah.
lived in California, it was a while ago, right? It was like over
Yeah.
20 years ago, right?
No. 10 years ago.
Oh, 10 years ago? Okay, I don't know when he died. I was going to say, did you ever go to Forrest Ackerman's house?
No.
Because, that was like open to the public. Like all you had to do was show up and he'd like give you a tour and show you everything.
Oh, I don't even really know who that is. It sounds familiar. What's he been in?
He was the founder of Famous Monsters of Filmland magazine, but he had like this huge collection of like vintage monster and sci-fi movie stuff that was given to him over the years, and his house was just filled with it. And apparently, like, he would just give anyone who showed up like a free tour of his house. Like, you could just show up and he'd be like, he'd show you around.
That would have been really cool. I didn't know about that. The only time I ever worked with anyone from like the magazine side of things was I did a one day on this indie movie called End of the Road, and for some reason the guy who created Fangoria was there. So he was just like hanging out on set all day, but we also had Michael Dorn and Robert Picardo and Zach Ward. We shot the opening of this movie. It's like a movie within a movie, and that's the opening of the film. And you can find it on Tubi, actually. It's under the name 321 Scream or 123 Scream. I don't know why they called it that. It was a distributor thing. I'm in it. You can see my leg in one shot, and then I'm in the credits because I'm the one that made sure that all of the closed captioning matched up to the dialogue in the movie.
Oh, wow.
I had to watch that movie like 4 times in one day just to double check it. And then the director at like 2 a.m. calls me and he goes like, "Hey man, I know you just finished, but I just finished the final cut of the movie and I'm going to watch it. You want to come over and watch it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll be there in 15 minutes.
I always say you can see me in the movie if you know where to look, but you'll never know it's me if I'm not there to point it out. But you can see me on screen in Chasing Amy.
You've told that story before. Yeah.
It's you can only spot me because of my jacket. I know the jacket I was wearing, but like you could never see my face. I'm so small.
It's like the guy in Teen Wolf that whips his dick out.
Oh yeah, in the bench, the
basket
bleachers.
See, I should have done that. Then you would have been able to find me.
The other day, so I'm taking my kids trick or treating the other day, and we go to this like realtor complex, and they were doing this big event, and they had a guy dressed as Teen Wolf, and my daughter was like, "Oh, it's a werewolf." I'm like, "No, it's Teen Wolf," and she's like, "What's that?" And then like I'm trying to explain to her the movie, and then like the guy walks by and he's kind of laughing, and I almost just wanted to go like, "No whipping your dick out."
Oh wow!
To see if he would have gotten the deep cut on that one, but I don't. I was like, there's kids. I can't say it.
In today's world, if that were to happen, they would digitally take it out quickly. Like it would just not even be there. You know what I mean?
It'd be very hard to find things like that. It's like, what is it in Back to the Future 3 when they have little Jules and Vern at the very end, and you got the little kid and he's like
and he flips
patting his crotch. Yeah, he pats his crotch.
Yeah,
because he's got to go to the bathroom, and that made it into the film.
He doesn't just he pats it and
points at it. Like I've seen that movie. I can't even tell you how many times, and I didn't know until I saw some shorts video talking about it or something.
Yeah, Degrassi just mentioned Bob Burns' basement. Bob Burns is another guy who has an insane collection, and he'll give people tours. But the thing is, he's so old now, I don't think he can really do it anymore. But he has the original King Kong, the what do they call it? The armature, the skeletal structure that they put the puppet around. He'll bring people in and get their picture holding King Kong, the original 1930s King Kong. So,
nice. That would be really cool to see. That's the thing I miss about LA is film is everywhere. History is everywhere. Like, all the famous shooting locations, like, the house from Halloween, you can go up and sit on the front porch. If you don't bother any of the neighbors, you can just find all sorts of little things all around. And it's really immersive in that sense.
Yeah.
But the downside though is that Hollywood has changed so much that I don't see it still being a hub for movies in the next like 20 years.
No.
I just don't see it. I think like it's going to cost so much money, and they're not bringing enough production back that you're going to see it move to like Albuquerque, because Netflix built a studio out there, and I think they've got another one in Louisiana.
In Atlanta.
Yeah, and so And when Netflix
'cause,
eventually buys Warner, so that's where it's going to go.
Who built the one in New Jersey? Was that Lionsgate?
I don't know.
Because I know there was a major one that was built in Jersey, or was going to be built in Jersey. I think it was Lionsgate.
Tyler Perry, I know, is a really big soundstage.
That's in Atlanta.
In Atlanta, when it was so weird.
That's out near the airport.
Well, what gets me about that is like I finally saw bits of a Tyler Perry movie because like this one channel was playing them, and those are some of the worst made movies I've ever seen. It's just, and I'm not like, but the thing is like, it's clearly not about the filmmaking techniques. It's just about the stories, and I get that. But you're watching these movies, and it just looks like a stage play that they just kind of shot very fast.
Yeah.
Like the high key lighting, it just looks a little bit nicer than a sitcom. And I'm like, maybe that's what they were going for, but it works because people fucking flock to that shit.
And Terry Talks Movies is saying that Forrest J. Ackerman was Me Too'd by women after his death. I never heard that, but that's unfortunate. It's disappointing to hear, actually. Bob Burns was an interesting guy because Bob Burns was a gorilla man. He was known for playing gorillas in movies and television.
Oh, okay.
Because he had a gorilla suit. Like that's how it was back then. If you had a gorilla suit and someone needed a gorilla, be like, well, Bob Burns has a gorilla suit. In fact, he played Tracy the gorilla on Ghostbusters, the old Filmation live action Ghostbusters show. So,
anyone here excited for Stranger Things next month?
I've never seen one episode of Stranger Things.
You should marathon it. It's really good.
Oh, I have a thing, like, if something gets way too popular, I just lose interest in it for whatever reason. It's why I never watched Rick and Morty.
Okay, I mean, I get that. I mean, never mind. The fan base was entirely obnoxious for like the longest period of time.
Let me preface it with this. This, like, right before the Szechuan sauce thing happened, I tried watching Rick and Morty. I think I got to like episode 4 or 5, and I was kind of on the fence of like, I don't know if I'm going to continue with this. And then I saw all the videos of like the Szechuan sauce and the guy that like jumps up on the counter, which apparently was fake, but the guy I'm talking about where he pulls up the shirt over his head and says that he's Pickle Rick. And I watched that and I go, nope, I am not watching Rick and Morty because I don't want to be associated with that.
You know what? Fair enough, man. Fair enough. There's a lot, a lot of shows.
I think I would be okay now, but like back in 2017, I had a feeling that like after that you didn't want to admit that you were a fan of Rick and Morty because you're one of those crazy guys like going to McDonald's and chanting Szechuan sauce. But let's be fair. Like McDonald's handled that very, very poorly. Like they should not have done it at only 50 locations, and they should have had more than just a small handful of cups, knowing it was going to be popular.
Well, I will say I'm excited for Stranger Things. I want to see how they wrap up the story because I've been watching it every season. I'm kind of invested at this point, and I'll probably go see the finale in theaters if it's somewhere near me. So
I'm hoping that it is because but the weird thing is, aren't they okay? So they're putting the finale on New Year's Day, right? Or is it New Year's Eve?
I think it's New Year's Day.
Okay, because they launch it at midnight on New Year's Eve, I think, and so I think they're expecting everyone to like stay up all night because each episode is like 2 hours long.
Yeah, well, the thing is that's what I think they're doing. They're doing the penultimate and the finale back to back in theaters. So I think that's what they're doing, if I remember correctly. So yeah,
I mean, I
it's
saw
a 2-hour movie basically.
That's kind of crazy to me that they've been a little bit more lenient on that, putting stuff in because K-pop Demon Hunters was just back in theaters this weekend, and I don't know how
which actually did really well considering it was up against Black Phone 2. It did really well, so that's kind of funny.
And Glass Onion did really well too.
Yeah, 15 million over like a couple of 500 theaters or something. It did a lot of money, and then theaters were begging for it, and Netflix is like, no. I don't know. I mean, like, if they buy Warner Brothers, it's I don't know, man. It's done for theatrical.
I'm so concerned about that. Like, it's been in the back of my mind for weeks now since we've even talked about this. Is that I think Netflix getting Warner Brothers out of like a threat level, that's the red alert is Netflix for sure for me.
Like this is where I'm I'm conflicted because I feel like Netflix is probably like out of all the companies that may be buying it, they're maybe the best one to do it, but they're also the one I don't want to do it. But I also don't want Paramount to have them.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, and it has everything to do with like David Ellison, like, and his dad, and like where they are politically, and it's like because I don't think they're doing.
You saw the article today, right, Matt?
I saw a headline today.
He said he said they're going to be focused on anything new that they acquire is going to be alpha male skewing content is what they're going after.
Okay,
so.
like
which one said that? The father or the son?
The son.
The son.
See, now somebody told me the son isn't like his father politically, but. I mean, there you have it.
I mean, look, the alpha male side of it, that manosphere type shit, I don't think is as prudent as it was.
It's not.
But I do believe we need more pro male.
Yeah, I would agree
content.
with that.
Like,
yeah, no, I agree with that.
You know, where it's like it shows like education, healthy relationships, you know, things along those lines. I think we need more of that, but I don't know if they're the ones to do it. I don't know it.
You know, like I've said this before, even though I'm a very progressive person and I love to see more voices and more people having opportunities in Hollywood, I still like the old school stuff that used to pander to that audience. Like I like that stuff. So I think there's a place for all of it. Like I think all of it should be out there, in my opinion.
Well, that's where I think The Long Walk is like, I think really speaks to young men.
Yeah.
Right? Think about that. Like there's that line in the movie where they're all like, you know, they all know what the outcome is. And every year they still sign up for it because what the fuck else are they going to do? You know, like they are fully aware of what the outcome could be and they still do it because they have nothing else going for them. And I'm like, that is, there's like a male loneliness epidemic. There's all these things that are happening. And that is not where they need to go. You don't need more people looking at like Jordan Peterson or Ben Shapiro or Andrew Tate or any of those kind of guys, because they're, you know, they got such a skewed vision of life that it's bad.
I don't think. Yeah, go ahead, sorry, Joe.
Well, I was going to say I don't know what that would. I don't know what that would mean for Star Trek though, because Star Trek, I wouldn't call like an alpha male show.
It's not. It never was.
In fact, there was a reputation. Star Trek had a reputation back in the day as being like a guys thing, like guys like Star Trek.
Yeah,
but that's not true. And I talked about this with Larry Nemeczek, Dr. Trek himself. Back in the 60s, the campaign to save Star Trek, the letter writing campaign, it was fueled by middle-aged women. B. Joe Trimble, you know, like that show was very popular.
I mean, Lucille Ball was a big part of that too.
Right. So Star Trek was never as male skewing as people always seem to think it is.
Yeah. Well, the thing about Star Trek is that it's anti-racist and it's anti-segregation. And it's pro civil rights and it's pro all of these things. I think the key thing is that it's also very anti-religion. And I think that's the thing they really need to lean into, but that's just my take. But then you got Kirk, and Kirk is fucking all the hot ladies.
He is.
You know, and that's the male skewing element of it.
And then Riker was that character in the Next Generation. Like they gave him ladies man type.
I mean, he's laying pipe to Deanna Troi, and I don't think there was a guy who wasn't jealous of that back in the day. You know, I mean, like you had Kirk and you know, and Beverly Crusher, and I hope the carpet matches the drapes. But you know, you're talking about like the sex force of that thing. That was all Riker and Deanna Troi.
Yeah.
Look,
I think that they're like, for example, if we're talking about comic books, would be like a space that I would go into. The cheesecake pinup type artists out there, like J. Scott Campbell, people like that do that kind of art. People always think that progressive folks don't like that kind of stuff, but the thing is, we do like that kind of stuff. It's just that the media has made it seem like there's this battle where we want to, you know, progressive people want sexiness out of stuff. We like absolutely do not. I like sexy stuff too, and I think that Hollywood just hasn't been able to find that balance because they're too busy focusing on the wrong things. Honestly.
Well, I think in many ways, I look at this, you know, from the business perspective of Hollywood, and it kind of goes back to Independence Day Resurgence. Right, that movie.
I forgot about that movie.
That movie still pains me all these
I
years.
forgot about that movie, Matt. Why did you bring that back up?
Because there's a point I need to make with that movie.
Oh my
that
God.
movie was literally written to pander to the international demographic.
Yeah.
Okay, it was written. This is how, if you look at a lot of these movies nowadays, these big blockbusters.
True.
right? The dialogue lines are shorter. The action is more prominent.
It's all about all the visuals and
the visuals,
explosions
right?
and stuff like that. Yeah.
And that ends up being something that can be more easily translatable to the different demographics in different countries. And I think Independence Day Resurgence is one that I go back to, because if you go look at the jokes of that movie, it's like a second grader wrote those jokes. Now, what pisses me off about that is I hate the way that Hollywood takes a good idea and then the producers come on in and they fuck around with it. And then they delineate what could have been in order to try to attract people by treating them like they're stupid. You know, like,
there's a good show, by the way, just quickly, The Studio on ABC or Apple
I love it.
Plus is great. It does cover that kind of shit. So
I just, the fact that you got Seth Rogen like watching a 35 millimeter cut of a film and going like, no, I'm saving cinema. The studio, the studio spoke to me on so many levels. Because I mean, while I wasn't always involved in every little aspect of that, like even a lot of it, it was still, I knew so many people in that world, and it was just, this is completely.
But I mean, it shows what you're saying, like how production can interfere with whatever the creative process is at every step of the way. So.
Well, it's like, look at the casting when they're talking about Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
You know, like, we need Ice Cube. Okay, but who's going to be Mrs. Kool-Aid?
They went from woke to like too woke to not woke at all in the span of like one fucking episode.
And it's basically a Twitter thread is basically what it is. Like, and that's the line of thinking is, how do we please everybody? And you can't please everybody. And there's no way to do it. So I think stand by your guns. Tell the story you want to tell. Audiences will find it or they won't. I mean, even like, what was it with Tron? Even Jeff Bridges was like, you know, Tron didn't do very well when it came out in 1982, but it found a home video audience.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's just, movies can live on in the physical media space. And we put too much emphasis on the box office because it's like the most attractive thing, right? The biggest number, the sexiest number. When in reality, it's like, we'll never know what a movie makes. Ever.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, now the box office is all movies have, because there is no home video market anymore. Everything goes direct to streaming.
That's not true at all.
PVOD.
That's not true. Universal has been putting out their movies. If you notice Universal's pattern, they started dropping films on digital in April of 2020 with Trolls World Tour.
Yep.
And from I think for 4 years or whatever, they announced this last year. They had made over $1 billion on PVOD sales from their films that they released, while oftentimes they're still in theaters, right? Black Phone 2 was number 2 this last weekend. It's a Universal release. It hit PVOD. It will still do money in the theaters. They did this with Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, which arguably was the best animated film of 2022. And they put that up against, I think it was Avatar, The Way of Water. And that movie came out and it did not start doing better until it hit digital and people started sharing clips of it around on Twitter. And then after that, the entire conversation was about Puss in Boots and everyone was watching it. And you started watching the box office numbers start to go up. And people were going to the theater to go see it, never mind the fact they could watch it at home, which is why I have posed this question, and everyone hates me when I pose the question, but I have been kind of thinking about this. Would it be more beneficial in some cases, not all, but some cases, for movies to go to streaming first, build an audience, and then attempt a theatrical run?
You mean like K-pop Demon Hunters?
Yes, exactly. Well, no, exactly. But that's one of the things there is like K-pop Demon Hunters, in my opinion, would not have done the cultural work that it did, had the impact it did, had it gone to theaters first.
I mean, it's a solid argument. I mean, we'll see if studios would be willing to try it. I think if Netflix
in order for it to work, the budgets would have to come down significantly.
But the budgets are everything on the budgets. You got to understand, like, a lot of that stuff is all write-offs, right? What we hear, when you hear about the budget, what we don't ever hear about is like all the tax incentives from the different places where they did the work, right? And if you go and you watch the end credits of a movie, you'll see like, thank you to like, you know, Australia, and you're like, but they shot this movie in Cleveland. Like, what the fuck is happening in Australia? And it's because they went there for visual effects work, so they got tax incentives for going to an Australian visual effects company and doing that there. And that's why they do all the things that they do.
And Sean O'Rourke, he once told us that they don't, the marketing budget is all written off.
If you look it up, the marketing budget is mostly written off, yes. And so the 100 million, so you'll always hear the numbers, right? Oh, they cost 250 million for the budget and another 150 million for marketing. And it's all, they got to make like 100 million, 1.2 billion in order to be able to make a profit. And you're like, no, that's not even remotely accurate. because we don't know how much of it's going to come down when all the tax rebates do. And that's kind of the bigger factor here. Hollywood is a business, and we know that the math is always fucked up. So it's so weird to me that box office quarterbacking has become a big thing. And because here's the thing also, if you go and you look at, like, let's say the numbers.com, you can find home video sale numbers for some movies, but guess what? It's only for domestic, not international. So we, again, have no public way of knowing how much money a movie is made in worldwide.
I
have
agree
no
with
way of
that.
knowing.
I agree with that.
The other
then-
thing is,
yeah.
I like people now, they're so franchise obsessed. Like, I'm talking not just the studios, but the people, like, because like take Tron, for example. Tron's a perfect example. I'll see everyone going on about, well, Tron bombed. There's not going to be any Tron 4. And it's like, my attitude is, I liked all 3 Tron movies. I enjoyed all 3 Tron movies. And I got 3 Tron movies. I didn't expect to get 2 Tron movies. The first Tron bombed. I didn't think we were ever going to see a second one. I got 3. I don't need Tron 4. I'm good. I already got more Tron than I ever thought I was going to have.
Is it good?
I liked it a lot. I liked it better than the second one.
Wow, I love the second one. I just haven't had time to go to the theater. My schedule has just been crazy, but it's plus also now my theater's stopping showing movies past 8:30. So
that's why I go to Regal. Regal's the only chain in my area that has movies past like 8:30 or 9.
Yeah,
so.
Regal's not too far, but it's like it's not as close as the other one, and I don't have that much time. Even on my days off, because I got to get the kids to bed and all that stuff. But I think, again, like, movies are just like theaters. I've said this before, is like theaters need to step up, and they need to step up in ways that are going to be like, lower the price of the ticket. That's how you get people back in, because you got to people will always justify entertainment, but they got to make the value has to be there. So I've always said, and this is after my years of managing theaters, is for the first 2 weeks, the movie should have full price. And then after that, every week it drops. And so you do 50% or, whatever. All right.
Yep.
So now a ticket goes down from like $12 to $6, but it's $6 all day. And you'll get latecomers that come on in.
It's not a bad idea. And I'll tell you, like, I've got the Regal.
I think that there also needs to be different tiered pricing, because there is a difference between movies like Deadpool and Wolverine and The Surfer or The Bike Riders. Right, the idea that you're going to pay the same price no matter what movie you go see. So if you had a choice between Deadpool and Wolverine or The Bike Riders, you're paying, what was it, $25 like opening weekend. You're going to choose to go to Deadpool and Wolverine and just skip The Bike Riders and just wait for that to come to streaming. If you treat movies differently in a good way, where it's like, okay, for the tent poles you're going to pay the higher price, but for the independent stuff like The Bike Riders, The Surfer, you're going to pay a discounted price so that you'll take more of a risk. I think that will also help bring back kind of an equilibrium.
So like concert pricing.
Yeah,
I'll tell you, the Regal Unlimited, it's the best deal around. I pay $20 a month. I see as many movies as I want. Now, I think what they need to do is it's a great deal, but they need to expand that into like a family plan. Like
what they need to do is that they need to cut back on the ads.
Oh God,
there's way too many ads. There's way. Because
I'd be very disappointed if they did. I'd be extremely disappointed.
Why? I want that half hour back.
I want that half hour desperately.
I don't know why you want to sit through the same trailers over and over
very
again.
Very easy. I can't get to the movies until everyone is in bed. And therefore, I want the latest showing possible. And if they're having a 10 o'clock show, I know that show doesn't start till 10:30.
Okay. No, I'll fine. Okay. I mean, in that particular situation, I've done that at work, where like I've got off work on like a Sunday night at like 9:30 or 10 o'clock or something. And I'm like, okay, I can get my ass to the theater. And they got like an 11 o'clock show. And if I'm running behind, because, I travel all over, like from like Olympia to Seattle, beyond everything else. So my schedule never stays the same. And so I'm like, I understand that. But I also feel that like when I'm taking my kids to see a movie, I don't need 30 effing ads or minutes of ads. I feel like it's good in your situation, but your situation is minimal compared to everybody else's, right? Like if I go to see a movie and it says it starts at 2:15 and it doesn't actually start at 2:45, then that might put me at edge depending on what else I have to do after the fact, you know? And it's like, that is you are fucking with my time at that point in time. And I don't necessarily even mind the commercials that are there. I'm talking just the length of time. When we worked the drive-in, you know, we would sell out and we would have maybe at most 12 minutes of previews because we didn't want to take up everyone's time. So it's like you run 4 trailers, you know, and then that's it. You don't need more than that. Everything now is you buy your ticket ahead of time and you get your seat. And that's it.
The Mahoning Drive-In, you know, the drive-in I go to frequently, the Mahoning, they have a very different approach. They show a lot of trailers and commercials before the movie, but they're all vintage. Like none of them is like a buy Coke. Like, you know, it's, or if it is, it's a buy Coke trailer from the 80s or 90s that they dug up on 35 millimeter. So it's actually part of the show is like, you know, you get these old vintage movie reels that they dug up somewhere.
See, that's cool.
I was going to say, close to me, like 5 minutes away, we have a local chain, right? There's only like 5 of them, but they're luxury theaters. Like the seats are they're nice, soft seats. They recline. They have a vibrator in them. Like you can do your back and shoulders and stuff like that. Yeah, I know, probably wrong word.
After
has vibration in them.
After midnight, it turns into a whole different theater.
Yeah. But then it has a full restaurant, a full bar, a really good menu. Like we're not talking like deep fried stuff, like actual like well-made food. Like you can go in there. They have a restaurant section in there. You can go in there and just sit down and eat food if you want. Like that's how it is on the inside of the theater. So they've really like stepped it up, but it's allowed them to bring their ticket prices way down. So the ticket prices are between $7 and $8 now for all showings. So they're making up with that by selling like really high-end food. So and drinks from the bar. So I think a lot of the main chains, the ones that haven't already switched over by now, because I know a lot of them have added like alcohol and things like that to their menus. I think that doing that makes a difference, and you can bring those ticket prices down. I think if we start doing that.
If they start doing that, I mean, I'm not against them having a high-end experience, especially if the prices are manageable, you know. And I think I have a Cinemark near me, and I have their Cinemark movie club, and you get 20% off of concessions, which actually is pretty significant. Like I can get a large popcorn for $7, like $7.50, and that's fine. You know, but like the tickets are like 14, 15. So like when I took the kids to go see K-pop Demon Hunters, it was like for the 4 of us to go with all the popcorns and everything, it was still well over $60.
Right.
You know, and I'm like, we could have just stayed at home and I could have made popcorn I've already got.
And watched the movie for free.
I watched it already. But I mean, I will fully admit I had a grand time watching it. Yeah. I fucking love that movie. But it was just like, I can't do this all the time. You know, they brought
You know what's
K-pop.
funny, Matt, is that movie has brought so many people from different backgrounds of film together, because so many people are like, this movie is amazing, this movie is great. And it's so weird because I've heard people that I didn't think would like that movie say, yeah, I fucking love that movie. It's pretty crazy.
I think the biggest thing with K-pop Demon Hunters is it's really about like overcoming shame and guilt. And so the themes in that movie are quite universal and they speak to a lot of people, you know, and it's like, and I think a lot of the way that the songs are really catchy. That helps out as well. But really it's like the story, it's a pretty simple story. It's a pretty basic story, but those themes work so well that it just resonates. And
it reminds me of 80s themes. Like you go back to the 80s movies, they had very simple themes. Like what would happen on a night at the prom? What would happen in detention? You know what I mean? It's just really simple concepts that you can build on, which I think we've lost a lot.
And there's a lot there with the character and their motivations, you know. I mean, if you look at Rumi and like her shame and her guilt, and then Genu and his shame and his guilt, you know, and then that can be kind of matched even by Zoe or Mira, you know, Mira or whatever, and then the other Saja boys have no fucking purpose whatsoever. Whatever.
They're just there to fill in.
They're just there. It's baby Saja, that's the one that can rap, but it's. You know, but really, it's just they were able to kind of work, and then the juxtaposition between the two. And then, you know, the voice acting was really well done and they made you care, you know, like that movie ended for me. I was watching with my kids when it first came out and I was like wiping the tears away, you know, I'm like, oh, it's fucking so good. You know, it's just, an amazing movie. And I'd love to see more films that are like that that are able to touch on those heartstrings. And I think that's maybe one of the key things we move away from with films is like, like no one goes to a movie not wanting to be entertained. Like no one goes in not wanting to love it, I think. And I think people are so afraid of loving it. And that's why K-pop is so weird, because I think everyone's just so accepting of it. It's like, yeah, everyone loves this movie. Like, wait, you can love this movie? Because I think if people weren't so open about their love of the film, I think it would keep so many people from openly talking about it.
I do think there is a lot of people now in this current generation that do go in looking to hate a movie. It's like the whole audience for those Fandom Menace guys. They don't want to like a movie. They want to go in and hear everything that's wrong with it, and then they want to come out and tell you.
I think that predates the Fandom Menace. You can thank MST3K for that. How many people want to go into? How many people want to go into a movie just to shit on it?
Well, hold on.
From Serial at Midnight actually said that once. He told me he didn't like MST3K because that was the show that introduced bringing snark to the movies.
Well, but I think it's a little different though with MST3K. MST3K isn't, as far as I remember, it's been a while, they weren't cynical about it. They were poking fun, but it was in fun. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't that like them watching it and like, Mike Shervo's all like, man, that chick looks like a dude. What is this DII shit? Like you don't get that kind of stuff. They'll point out like some of the bad things in the filmmaking, but they're not going to go about it in the way that we have these, these fucking anti-SJW type guys and shit.
But that's the thing. I could see how it evolves. You know what I mean? Like you get the guy who doesn't get why it's funny. And it's just like, oh, they're shitting on movies.
No, I get that,
but make my YouTube channel and do this now.
But I feel, I would also blame like Cinema Sins for a lot more of the modern version of that. And I can't watch Cinema Sins like at all. I just can't do it. There's someone told me once I should watch a Mahler review or something. And he was reviewing Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. This is my favorite thing he's ever criticized. He got triggered by the fact that in Universe 818 or 838 that the stoplights were reversed.
Yeah, I remember that. I do remember that criticism.
And he got confused by it. He got mad at it. And I'm all like, yeah, they're meant to showcase the differences between our universe and their universe. And what better way than flipping the lights?
Something so simple that we just do every day. Yeah,
exactly. It was so simple. And he just like, they couldn't fathom it because they don't understand what they watch. Their media literacy is terrible. Most of these people, their media literacy is bad. I liken it to this. Would you trust somebody who's never touched a wrench to fix your plumbing?
Right.
No, you wouldn't. So why the fuck would you go to any of these people that have never
don't know anything about filmmaking at all? Nothing.
Storytelling, anything at all. They haven't even like worked in like, a porno theater or whatever. Nothing. They've done nothing. And they're like, I'm going to tell you how this movie is. And I'm like, no, you guys don't know shit, man. Like, nothing. And people, they hang on their every word because I think what it is people like, they want to feel something, and it's easier to be angry than it is to be happy.
I'm going to listen to Heel versus Babyface because that guy knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, fair, right. Pronoun guy knows what he's talking about.
To be fair, though, I do think Nerdrotic worked in a porn theater. He sold meth.
Look, it's possible he sold meth to kids. I don't care. I'm only going to give a shit when I hear, oh, he's gone. Okay, good. It's like, that's it.
To be fair.
To be fair, yeah. But it fuck Gary. But I think with these guys again, like I deep down, I think they actually like a lot of the shit. You don't watch.
I agree with that. Yeah.
We know they do because Gary, you would know, Eric. Didn't you guys like dig up old videos of him?
No. Well, I mean, like Eric July has said he liked Miles Morales, and then he changed his mind. He didn't like Miles Morales. Jeremy, I believe it was Rise of Skywalker.
No, it was The Last Jedi.
Last Jedi.
Last Jedi.
Yeah, Last Jedi. He made a video originally, a review saying how much he liked it, and then like a few weeks later, it's like it's the worst movie ever made. And so,
Midnight's Edge started that way too. They loved The Last Jedi.
Yeah,
and then changed their opinion a week later.
No,
but you can't find it.
No, I can say that because I was talking with Midnight's Edge at the time. I was quite friendly with Andre and those guys back during that time. No, they went after Ghostbusters. I mean, we all went after Ghostbusters. Holy shit! That movie was
That's
so
how I
bad.
found your fucking channel originally, was the Ghostbusters video.
I stand by everything I fucking said.
Like back
With
in the day, I was locked into Mundane Matt's Ghostbuster video. Like every couple of days was a new Ghostbuster.
Do you know, here's the thing. Do you know how angry I get when I think about Ghostbusters 2016? And it's not for the reason you think. It's the same reason why I get mad thinking about The Last Jedi. I hate the fact that there is a Star Wars movie and a Ghostbusters movie I don't like. And I'm an easy lay. That's the thing. I am a super easy lay. I will go in to watch like some of the worst fucking movies, and I walk out going like, you know what? I really, really fucking enjoyed that shit. And people give me crap. I did a video once back in 2015, back when Pixels came out. Remember Pixels?
Yeah.
And I did a video on Monday Mad Channel, said, here's why I like Adam Sandler movies. I lost 300 subscribers in a day. And I still, a decade later, will get shit for that. And I still stand by my statement. I love Adam Sandler movies.
I think, Joe, did you like or dislike 2016 Ghostbusters?
I have such complicated feelings for that movie because I
didn't like it. I like Chris Hemsworth, but I didn't like the movie.
I remember when Voodoo forced it down everybody's throats. But anyway, sorry, Joe, I interrupted you.
I expected to like the movie because I liked Paul Feig. Like, I liked what he'd done before. I liked Freaks and Geeks. I liked his Peanuts movie. I expected that it was going to be a good movie. But at the same time, at the time it was the audio podcast, was telling people, boycott this movie. Don't go see this movie. And the reason was not because, I am so conflicted on this movie. You and I talked about this about a week ago. Because I kept saying it's not about women, it's not about women, it's not about women. And that was true for me. And that was true for most of the people I knew. But when Ocean's 8 came out, I realized, oh my God, it really was about women for a lot of those people. Because my thing was, this is not canonical. They are doing a reboot, despite the fact that the creator of the franchise...
That was my biggest issue with that movie,
yeah,
honestly.
And Dan Aykroyd wanted to do a continuation, and they were taking it out of Dan Aykroyd's hands. They were taking it away from the man who created it. And Paul Feig didn't want to make the movie. And I can't believe I'm going to do this. I'm going to praise Midnight's Edge, because this was before Midnight's Edge went off the deep end. At that time, Midnight's Edge made their name by doing videos about the leaked Sony emails. So whereas now today we know Midnight's Edge is full of shit. At that time, these were the real emails that were actually coming out of Sony. And we had the email chain where Paul Feig kept turning the movie down. He kept saying, I don't want to make this movie. And Amy Pascal's like, you got to make the movie. And she was pushing him into it. And then finally he says, all right, I'll make it, but only if I can do a complete reboot, which wasn't what Aykroyd or what's his name, Ivan Reitman wanted. So this is where I was. I was like, this isn't right. You're taking this out of the people who created its hands to get a guy who doesn't want to make it to make it. And
you want to hear the funniest thing about that is in that email chain when he came back with the pitch was the movie that they got that they made. That was like the one paragraph pitch is it.
Yeah.
And it's like, here's the thing is, like, it wasn't about women for me. It wasn't. I just really didn't like that they were rebooting it. And I'll say this. Do you know what I've been watching with my girlfriend for the last couple of weeks? We've been rewatching the entirety of Mike and Molly. I love Melissa McCarthy. I love Kate McKinnon. I love Kristen Wiig. Yeah. It wasn't the casting. I praised Leslie Jones for going out there and saying, hey, anyone who picks up a proton pack can be a Ghostbuster. Like she was trying to unite. I was like, it was just everything about the movie was so bad. Oh my God, it's triggering because it's just it's like you have Fall Out Boy trying to do a cover, and then you've got like Paul Feig out there trying to like blame like the male fans, and you're like, people were complaining.
But here's the thing, Ocean's 8 was illuminating for me, because whereas I was saying it's not about women, and I meant it, then Ocean's 8 came out, and I saw the same chuddy comments of, oh, they're going to remake it with all women, and I'm like, but no, this is canonical.
But
this
I actually
is within that world.
But Joe, I actually think it's sort of like a domino effect. Like, I don't think a lot of people went into Ghostbusters hating it because it's women, but they bought into the narrative that it was because of women.
Because that was a media driven
that's what
thing.
I think happened. Yeah, I think that's what happened.
And it was, if you look at all the blogs, like the movie websites that are now all owned by Valnet, by the way, If you look at all the websites from back then, they were all just attacking the people being critical of the film. There was no conversation being had about the movie and it being what we've been saying right here. When Chris, what was it, Cinemassacre, right? James Rolfe put out a video saying, "I'm not going to review this movie. Here's why." Listen, the exact same reasons why you just were complaining, Joe. And the media they went after him. They eviscerated him.
The worst was Devin Fiacci. Do you remember that?
Oh,
Devin Fiacci from what was it? Birth Movies.
Faraci, Devin Faraci, yeah.
Yeah,
the guy
he put out an article called the soft sexism of hating the new Ghostbusters.
I have a story about that. So I was at Comic-Con 2016, and I always go to the early night, right? I go as press.
Larry's member, welcome, Larry.
And I'm waiting for the doors to open on Wednesday night preview night. I'm in the press area. I'm 2 feet from Devin Faraci. I loathe this person.
Was this before or after?
This is before he got outed for finger blasting that woman that without consent. Mm-hmm. And so anyway, I'm 2 feet from this guy. I am not an angry person. I am not a person who likes to fight. I am not a person who likes to get into confrontations. My blood ran it boiled, right? It boiled. I was so like my fists were clenched, my teeth, like everything. I was like, I've never been in a situation where I wanted to lunge at somebody as much as I wanted to lunge at this man.
You're describing my feelings exactly when I found myself standing at a bar next to Alec Peters.
It's funny because I'm friends with Alec Peters, but I've never met him personally, but we're friends on Facebook. But anyway, it's like I was so mad, and I turned to this random lady next to me, right? This random lady next to me, and I just looked at her and I said, "I hate to bother you. I need to talk to you because if not, I'm going to punch the fuck out of this guy back here." And I'm that mad. And she sees me and she's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, this guy has lied about me and my friends for years. Because this is, by the way, here's the reason why I hate Devin Faraci. A lot of it's the Gamergate stuff, okay? Because he was calling all of us like worse than plantation owners, worse than terrorists. He called us worse than ISIS on the day ISIS released a video where they beheaded an American
remember
journalist.
that day, yeah.
And I'm going like, dude, fucking read the room. Like, fine, you don't like people wanting ethics in journalism. Fine, whatever. Okay, yeah, and there are sexist assholes that were there. It got bad. Okay, I've denounced a lot of Gamergate over the years, but in the early days, it was a lot. It was a whole mess of shit. But anyway, it was like he kept saying all this stuff, and it was just like you're trying to defend yourself from people calling you like the worst shit ever, and he was right fucking there. And I had to just like turn and like look away. I was so fucking, I thought he was going to see me or some shit. He didn't see me, but I saw him. Anyway, yeah, that was fuck that guy. I hate that fucking guy.
Yeah. I've talked to James about that because he's a local guy. He lives, in fact, the opening of my video, you see James and I standing outside the Colonial. That was like 5 minutes before he and I started talking about Devin Faraci and what he did to him. It bothered me. That movie, I will say this though, because I do try to look for the positive, right? Like I will say positive things about Ghostbusters 2016. I say that because of Chris Hemsworth, we got the best Thor arc in Ragnarok, in Infinity War, and Endgame. We got those three films were a complete Thor trilogy. If you really think about it, Thor Ragnarok sets up Infinity War. We get that whole story with him. He's the character whose main focus we got in Endgame. And I think in even Infinity War, because Avengers 1 was Tony Stark. That was that was Captain America. That was the primary POV. Age of Ultron was Tony. And then Infinity War was Thor. And we got a lot of that. We got a great story. He got to have closure with his mom. He got to find himself again. That humor that he hid all that pain behind, I think allowing him to do that is really one of the things that made those films great. So I will give Paul Feig credit for having faith in that casting choice.
That's really about it. But I will give that credit.
And that's the thing. That's why I said I expected to like it, because Paul Feig was good. Like, I was like, I don't like what they're doing here. I don't like how they're doing this, but I think the guy they got is talented enough that the end result's going to be good. And then I did see it and I didn't like it, but
well, the Paul Feig, here's the thing with Paul Feig, what we have to remember is Paul Feig is not a person who you can really claim does anything original, right? Like, he does deconstruction films. Bridesmaids was a deconstruction of Hangover. So the first half of that movie was basically gross out humor, the hangover for women, and then the back half of that movie is a relationship drama. Good movie, but that's what it was. Then he followed that up with The Heat. You know, Melissa McCarthy, Sandra Bullock. It's kind of a deconstruction on the male Tango and Cash buddy cop stuff from the 80s and 90s. And Sandra Bullock just played Gracie Hart from Miss Congeniality. She literally played the same character. I didn't care for that because I love Miss Congeniality 1 and 2. I think they're hilarious movies. But then you get to Spy in 2015, and that's great. Melissa McCarthy taking on like the spy genre. That was really funny. So, and then he goes and he does Ghostbusters. And again, so he's taking this deconstruction approach and he takes it to Ghostbusters where it didn't need to be deconstructed. But that's where he thinks the comedy comes from. And since then, he hasn't really done anything like that, I don't think. What did he do? He did that. There was that Netflix movie, like The School of Good and Evil. That was okay. I didn't see A Simple Favor. Did anyone watch that one?
I didn't see it.
I didn't see it.
He made 2 of those, didn't he?
He did 2 of them, yeah. And then he also did that one movie with Emilia Clarke, like a Christmas movie. Again, like no one. He kind of went to director jail, I think, after Ghostbusters. But hey, you know, here's as much as I bitch about The Last Jedi, it was the best directed movie of the trilogy. It just had the worst story.
Well, I'll tell you, it's getting late, so that does mean it's the end of the show.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I'm on the east. I'm on the West Coast, so it's still early here.
Before we wrap things up, I will say real quick that I am nothing if not consistent. There's 2 movies that I advise people don't go see this. Do not give this movie your money. And it was Ghostbusters and it was the Child's Play remake. And both were for the same reason. Both were because the original creator got screwed over. With Child's Play, he was literally still making Child's Play sequels over at Universal. But MGM held the remake rights for the first film, and MGM was like, "We're going to remake Child's Play," and he's like, "Please don't do that. I'm actually working on a legitimate sequel to Child's Play right now. I'd appreciate you're going to screw this up if, like, I'm trying to make like Child Curse of Chucky or whichever one it was," and they were like, "Nope, we're going to do it," and I was like, dude, that's not cool. Like the creator's still working in that sandbox, and you're going to make a conflicting film with him.
You know what's interesting about that movie is like its budget was only $9 million. Like it was such a low budget movie, and it made its money back. But then no one's ever talked about it again. Whereas the Sci-Fi Show, with Chucky Sci-Fi Show, did 3 seasons, and that was like pretty well loved.
I thought that was USA that was on, or am I confusing that with the Purge?
Sci-Fi and USA are the same company.
They shared the rights. It actually aired on both channels.
Oh, it did? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
I never saw the show, but I hear it was pretty good.
I really liked season 1. I kind of thought it fell off after season 1, but it was well received. People liked it.
I mean, at least Devin Sawa got work.
All right, everyone.
Hold on. We got to end with the stream ending joke.
Okay.
As a long tradition.
Stream ending joke.
This is an old one. I'm pretty sure you guys know it. How many letters are in the alphabet?
Oh boy, there's
26?
so many variations of this.
I feel like this is leading us somewhere.
Yeah.
All right, I'll give you the answer. 22, because E.T. went home and somebody shot JR.
I remember there was also back in the day TWA flew away. So, well, there you go. All right, everyone, check out Eric Debunks. Eric Reloaded is the other one, right?
Yeah, it's Eric Debunks and Eric's Reloaded.
Eric's Reloaded, and Matt, which channel are you got the 2 channels? Which one? Are you pushing these days?
I don't know. Just I guess the Mad Jarbo channel, but yeah, I don't know if you like. We're going to be making AI videos tonight, so it's going to be funny.
All right. Donovan will be there, and and you can catch Gary over at Metro Obelisk Radio here on YouTube. So, all right, everyone. Until next time, keep wearing those pajamas.
Keep wearing those pajamas
with the plastic feet.
Keep wearing those pajamas.
Tell everyone you meet.
Keep wearing those pajamas
with the back door flap.
Keep wearing those pajamas.
Don't open it, it's a trap.
Oh no,
it's a trap. Some people call them PJs, some people call them jammies. They can come embroidered with big money and no whammies. They can have 100 tiny commander Adamas, but no matter how they look, just keep on wearing those pajamas.
Keep on wearing those pajamas. Keep wearing those pajamas.
I know we're having fun.
Keep wearing those pajamas.
And now the song is done.